Hi everyone, I am here today because I wasn't here yesterday, which was when I meant to do this. So this probably should have been recorded and come out on Sunday. And by the time it gets to you, it's going to be at least Tuesday. So I'm sorry about that. Life just escaped over the weekend. So just come on today. There's a few little bits and pieces. The main thing being the book review. It's been quite hard to do these in the sense that there's so many new books coming through all the time at the minute, and there was a bit of a block because lots of publication dates got changed or pushed back because of COVID, and then lots kind of came out all at once and everyone's playing catch up. But there's stuff that I'm behind with anyway, and things that I wanted to go through. So this particular book I'm doing today is one that I promised the author I would do a little while ago, and so I wanted to get that definitely done now because it's an amazing, fantastic book. Which has been extremely well received. So we'll have a quick look at that in a moment, and then I'll just go through a couple of other bits and pieces as well. Nothing massively exciting, but just some like catch up bits. So today's book, everybody, is by Mike Ingram, who is also a tour guide. And I have done an interview with Mike, actually. There's two on the channel. So there's one where he's talking about Richard III and the Battle of Bosworth, which is what the book's on, and also one where he talks to us about like the first war of the English civil wars. So those are there, and he'll be doing another one with me that's going to be coming out for the 5th of November on the Gunpowder Plot. So a little bit of sort of alternative history. It's only just post-Tudor, isn't it? By like a weenie amount anyway. So here is the aforementioned book. All right, Richard III and the Battle of Bosworth by Mike Ingram. There's a lot of illustration and photographs and things I can't really show you massively well, just like that. So there's a lot in there. And also this is my show off point because we all like a good book signing, don't we? So that's from where I met Mike at Bosworth last year, where he and some other authors were doing talks as part of the event. So I think, I mean, a lot of people will know that I love this period. This is probably my favourite bit, that kind of late into the Wars of the Roses, the later part, well, the Wars of the Roses period, really. A little bit before that, and the earlier part of the Tudor era is my favourite. But obviously to understand the reign of Henry Tudor and how that possibly fed into Henry VIII's psyche about you have to have a son, you have to carry this reign forward in the proper way, you need to avoid all this previous conflict, we have to look back. So obviously the title of this book is Richard III, but actually there's an awful lot of information about Henry Tudor in there as well. It's looking at sort of both of these things and understanding both of these individuals and the circles in which they moved and their individual experiences, and how that brought them both to the Battle of Bosworth in 1485. And Mike particularly is going to pay attention here to something that is often a little bit either overlooked or glossed over perhaps, and that is the role of the French politically in the situation here. You know, we hear about how the French sent mercenaries over with Henry to help him fight at Bosworth, and they were this and they were that. But if you speak to Mike and you look at the book, actually he talks about how they were seen as mercenaries because of their behaviour at other conflicts, the real sort of murder, rape and pillage side of things, you know, which is obviously horrendous. But actually they were probably really, really skilled in battle and a real asset. And it is pretty likely that actually without them, Henry wouldn't have stood a chance. So that does seem to be the most likely course of action, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it. And so, you know, Mike also looks at the politics in Europe at that time as well to understand why the French were so prepared to put that investment in, and you know they were looking out for themselves. And it's all sort of a little bit, I think, understated in other things that we may have seen and heard. So it's quite interesting to sort of look at it from that perspective rather than, well, there was this battle and there was this battle and then this person died and that person died and then this happened and that happened. There's a sort of history to the history, really. If you like nitty-gritty details of battle, if you like things like there's sections in there talking about the weaponry and the armor and which classes would have had what and all things like that. So if you're really interested in that sort of side of it, if you've got quite a big military interest, this will definitely appeal to you. But obviously it comes in sections, so if that isn't quite as much your thing, you can sort of pick out that bit if you want to. Maybe, you know, if that's not quite your thing, please don't think, oh, this whole book's just going to sit there breaking down, you know, what this weapon is. That's only one part of it. It covers, I would say, quite a lot of interest, because it comes from so many different angles. It's comfortable to read. It has all the different illustrations from various different sources, which is quite nice and refreshing to see that much illustration in the book. And it's been really, really well received, particularly by Eddie Smallwood, who is a chap that works at Bosworth, and what he doesn't know about what happened there and about that place isn't worth knowing, and he has really brought this book up to good acclaim. So I would definitely recommend this one for anybody who likes the Tudors or the Plantagenets or the Wars of the Roses. And obviously we see in the end, we see it starting to come into Henry Tudor or Henry VII's reign there. So that is a brilliant book. And you can see it says down here, from retinue to regiment. So there's going to be other books in this series as well, and Mike's having a hand in quite a few of those things. So when they come out, obviously, then I can let you know about those. Also look at on YouTube, and I think he's definitely on Instagram. I'm not sure about Facebook, probably on Facebook, Swiping Through History. I'll put that underneath the video. And Mike has done some of the research for this series, and it's about all the different battles, mostly about like different battles of the Wars of the Roses, but covering it in 10,000 steps, because you're supposed to do 10,000 steps a day. And it's a really sort of fresh way to look at it and explore those things. It's something really, really different and light and entertaining, and it does those things like in short videos, and I do share them sometimes on the Facebook page and sometimes the Instagram page. So do check out Swiping Through History, and again I'll put that information underneath. So that's really what's doing. But Mike is heavily involved with that project, and there are some more interviews and bits of his on there as well if you want to look at that. So that's my book review today. You should definitely read this one if you're interested in this period, and even if it isn't like your strongest area of interest, it all sort of clicks into underpin a lot of how Henry VII's reign went through with the Pretenders and things like that. It all helps to piece all of that together. So definitely this one. It is Christmas coming up. Apparently Christmas is cancelled, but just in case you don't want Christmas to be cancelled, or you want some good reading to cheer yourself up, then there's that one there. So just a couple of other bits quickly. I have got some other things that I'm trying to get into, projects with other people that I can't say too much about at the minute. I've got a trip in a couple of weeks, COVID permitting, to do some filming for one thing, and with one of my besties. And then I have two of my other history besties. We're doing something else, but I can't say anything about that either. But that one is good because it's going to force me to learn to do some basic editing and stuff like that. We're all coming into this lovely project together. So that hopefully should be done. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to give a date because that's tempting fate, isn't it? But that one's less COVID dependent, as it doesn't require going anywhere. We can't go anywhere. I hope wherever you are in the world, it's not, I was going to say, too horrendous COVID. I'm here in the UK, as you can probably tell, and it's kind of on the increase here a little bit, and we're all sort of waiting to see what happens all the time. And it's really affecting a lot of places, as I'm sure you're all aware of. So I think what I might do as we come up to Christmas is maybe look at places and have a think about perhaps buying gifts from the online gift shops from your favourite historical locations, to just lend them a little bit of support. So that will definitely be something that I will be doing, and might be worth looking at as well. I will try. I'm hoping maybe to try and it's a hectic week this week because the other half's out and about quite a lot with work and fishing. He likes the fish thing. But I'm hoping to get up to Bosworth soon to get my annual pass and just to spend a little time up there to blow the cobwebs away, because that's like my calm place. Depends a little bit on the wind, it's sometimes a bit less calm, but I'm hoping to maybe get up there soon. Someone asked me the other day about the Hampton Court cross stitch. So I started this ages ago. And like many other things happen, and since I've moved a couple of months ago now, it's all sort of got held up. But I also have been doing another little project for something else, which is a Christmassy thing, which I'm about 3/4 of the way through now, and I've been doing that, and once that's finished I will go back to finishing. So this is what the finished article looks like. So it's from Sheena Rogers Design. She has loads of history stuff, loads of Tudor stuff. So you might be able to see it on here somewhere, but I can put that underneath her website as well. So it's actually a cushion, but I bought a frame for it because I have small children and dusting's not really my bag. So, but this is as far as I got with it. So this is where I am with it here. So I've only kind of got that top corner to go, really. One big, one small Tudor rose and a bit more sky and border. And then obviously it needs pressing and mounting, and then there's back stitch work to do on it as well, actually, but not loads. So it has taken quite a while, because you can see it's solid, but there's no half stitches, because I hate those, for those of you who like cross stitching. And yeah, so it's nearly there, but there's a good pile of work gone into that, and I've really enjoyed it, actually. There's a very similar one that's a Tower of London with the same sort of border, so I think I might do that one at some stage. But the next one I'm doing after that is another Tudor related one, which is a gift, but the person who knows who it's for knows what it is and why it's for. So I won't do that. I will say that what it is when I start to do it. So we're going to try and get that one done. Was there anything else? I don't think so. If you've got any questions, I like to keep my little Tudor Society thing here. If you've got any questions about the Tudor Society, please do come and ask me. Obviously, we have not obviously, because you might not know, we have the 14-day free trial for the Tudor Society. So I can put a link in for that as well underneath if you want to take a look at that, because we've been going for several years now. And so there's the back catalogue of literally everything that has gone out since we started with that. So there's an awful lot there for you to sort of take in and spend some time looking at and absorbing and seeing if any of those things take your fancy. So I think that's about it for now. It's getting very cold and horrible now, so I'm actually going to go put my electric blanket on and go and cuddle up. I am reading Janet Wertman at the minute, so she has recently had the third novel in her trilogy released, The Boy King, about King Edward VI, and I love her books, and I will be talking to Janet once I have completed her book. We're going to be having a lovely conversation about that, and Janet's super nice. And I will also put the details of that trilogy under here. I remember all these things that I said I'm going to put underneath this video. But yeah, if you're looking for a series of like Tudor novels, it's a really nice, comfortable reads. They've improved with each book. The first one was great, but they're improved to me with each book as you go along, and they give you a really interesting new way of looking at the Seymour family. It's really kind of brought them to life for me, actually. I think sometimes people seem to think, they come across me as a bit stiff and a bit vain and it helps to sort of layer them in as much more three-dimensional people, like real people, really, which is easy to forget sometimes that they are. So, lots of waffling. I hope you're all doing okay. Things aren't too bad where you are, because it is a really mixed bag at the moment. If you're having any adventures, do please let me know. Obviously, it was supposed to be TudorCon last weekend. I was supposed to be out there, and that didn't happen, but some of us were able to do it virtually, so I've got to catch up with all that as well, maybe next year. And there have been some REM fairs and stuff going on, so if you've been to anything like that and you've got any lovely pictures, please do let me know. I would really like to see them. Until next time, when I should attempt to be more organised, do this on a weekend so it comes out on the weekend. I will try, I promise. People who know me well know me that I mean well, but it doesn't always happen. But I will try. So in the meantime, take care, everybody. Bye.